CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
We begin now with a live look outside. Well, we had a little bit of sunshine, but now the clouds have rolled back in. Next Weather meteorologist Cindy Presser joins us with what we can expect for the rest of the week. Cindy?
Wasn't it nice to see that little bit of sunshine this afternoon? Oh my goodness, and just enough to push that temperature up to 75, so I think that's going to be our high. We're now back down to 72 with a northeasterly wind starting to pick up just a little bit. Those winds will turn to the east tomorrow, and then we'll start to get a little juice moving back in here in the form of moisture with a chance for showers. That frontal system sitting well to the south right now, but that's going to pick up and move north as a warm front tomorrow. So our clouds are going to stick. More of these clouds. We can't get out of this cloud cover. This is the way it's been all winter, and that's the way it's going to stick as we head even into the weekend and beyond. Winds at this point now 13 miles per hour, so those winds starting to increase just a little bit. You can see the gusts coming down tonight, and then tomorrow about 10 to 15 mile per hour winds, but this time out of the east, and that in turn will start to pull in a little bit more moisture off the Atlantic and give that frontal system something to work with. But because the winds are a bit gustier, we do have a small craft advisory in effect until 10 p.m. tonight for the Atlantic waters. Could see some gusts up to 25 knots, and those seas are going to be up just a little bit as well. That does not include the Keys, though, or Key Biscayne. And we also have a high rip current risk. This will run through Thursday evening right along the coastal areas. So I know we don't have the best weather right now to go to the beach, but the folks that are visiting us from up north, this is pretty good down here, so they might be at the beach. Be careful for those rip currents. So tomorrow we'll see the showers start to move back in. Spotty showers, not a lot. It's all due to this warm front moving north, but eventually another cold front will come in late Friday night into Saturday. Colder, we're talking some of the coldest air that we've seen so far this winter season. We'll drop those temperatures back into the 40s away from the beaches. It'll be in the lower 50s here, though, in the Miami area. So you can see everything kind of turns around. We're going back to that southerly flow. There's a spotty shower tomorrow afternoon. Same thing again heading into Friday. So it's not going to be a lot of rain, but a little spot shower here and there, and I don't expect to see any kind of storms or anything out of that either. That cold air moving in over the weekend, that's going to settle in with the northerly flow. Dry air, so don't expect to see any rain this weekend. So here's our temperatures day by day. 81 tomorrow, 82 on Friday. Then we drop back into the 70s, overnight lows. Whew, that's going to be cold, especially Sunday morning.
Is coming. Cindy, thank you. Miami City Commissioner Joe Carollo speaks out after another development in his multi-million-dollar political retaliation case. Now his opponents are asking the city to remove him from office, saying Carollo violated their freedom of speech. CBS News Miami's Peter Dench will have the full story coming up at 5 o'clock. And now at 4, former Miami-Dade School Board member Lubby Navarro faced a judge this morning to discuss her bond after being accused of spending school money on lavish items for her personal use. CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner breaks down what happened in court.
When an inmate posts bond, they're supposed to be released in a timely manner. The issue at hand in court today was where the money for her bond came from. And while the defense team says the origin is clear, the state still has questions. Wednesday morning,
the ankle bracelet is on.
Lubby Navarro appeared in front of a judge. Her attorney said she's surrendered her passport and has an ankle monitor on.
I received the source of funds packet yesterday at 4:56 p.m. before the deadline. I did review it overnight.
While the state says they've received paperwork, they still have questions.
I provided the premium for the bond, so I'm still not ready to accept.
So you don't have to.
Because of due process, Navarro will remain on house arrest while the origins of her bond are figured out in court. Navarro is accused of using 2 school district credit cards for personal spending. According to court records, Navarro took her boyfriend at the time on a 4-day getaway to Las Vegas, and after they broke up, she is accused of using that same money to purchase 2 artificial silicone pregnancy bellies on Amazon to try to convince him and his family she was pregnant. She also allegedly bought 2 Apple AirTags police say her ex found in his car. At Walmart, authorities say she bought a $300 Disney gift card, 10 bottles of wine, underwear, and hair coloring.
Any comments on the charges?
Navarro did not respond to my question, but her attorneys did.
Is the argument that she didn't actually spend the money or that it was spent in the right way? What is the defense argument here?
So Obviously, I'm not going to comment on the exact defense. What I will say is that Ms. Navarro is unequivocally innocent.
As for where the funds for her bond came from, attorney Michael Davis said there's no doubt it's legitimate.
Said that there is no doubt where the funds came from. So why is the state still asking for that proof? Why not just give it to them?
So that's a question you'll have to ask the state.
Another court date was set for January 31st. Navarro was able to walk out of the courtroom and go back home today with that ankle monitor on, while the defense team and the state work together over the coming weeks to determine the official origin. In Miami, Morgan Reiner, CBS News, Miami.
Meanwhile, Miami-Dade County School Board members held a meeting today. CBS News Miami's Joe Gorcho will let us know what happened there, including how board members are reacting to Navarro's arrest and what they plan to do next. We'll have that story tonight at 5. A 19-year-old from Doral is accused of sexually battering a girl he met on a social media site. According to the arrest report, Joaquin Gutierrez met the victim on Snapchat. Back in April of last year, the girl told police she invited Gutierrez to play video games and he came into her room through a window. The arrest report said that's when inappropriate relations happened, though the girl told police it was consensual. Police say Gutierrez surrendered to authorities. And police say this man, 26-year-old Richard Gaines, is facing charges of animal cruelty. According to the arrest report, Miami-Dade police say while patrolling the area of Northwest 102nd Street and 17th Avenue, officers smelled a bad odor coming from a home. The officers discovered several dogs housed in kennels without food or water in the backyard, and some of the dogs looked like they'd been abused. Animal control seized 13 dogs, and Gaines was taken into custody. A break in the case of a decades-long murder mystery. In 1986, William Billy Halpern was murdered in his Miramar home. He was a former firefighter who worked at Apollo Gym. Investigators believe Halpern's death may have been connected to other murders that were also linked to the same gym. Today, police revealed a new development thanks to DNA technology.
We have a DNA profile that tells us that we can identify a specific person, but it has to be a one-to-one match. So we can't put that in a database and pull that information up through a database. It has to be a one-to-one match. So we're asking the public to come forward and even give us a name of someone who they believe was there, that we can potentially get their DNA and compare that to what we have.
Police believe Halpern was killed by people he knew because he may have overheard or saw something he shouldn't have. Investigators also believe those responsible for Halpern's death are either dead or already behind bars. We'll have more news when we come back. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Now to the race for the White House. This afternoon, the focus is on New Hampshire as voters decide. All 3 remaining GOP candidates will be in the Granite State today ahead of next week's pivotal primary. Polls show Donald Trump is ahead, but not by nearly as much as he was in Iowa. Nikki Haley is polling a close second. CBS News Miami's Caitlin Huey-Burns is following it all from Manchester, New Hampshire.
I'm thrilled to be back with the people of the great state of New Hampshire.
As snow descended on the Granite State, so too did the Republican presidential candidates. Former President Trump is splitting his time this week between the campaign trail and the courtroom as he faces a second defamation suit in Manhattan. All a sign he sees 91 charges and 4 criminal cases against him as a political advantage among Republican voters. He denies any wrongdoing.
If I didn't get indicted all these times, and if they didn't unfairly go after, I would have won, but it would have been much closer, I tell you.
But the reaction among Republican primary voters here appears mixed.
I think I can overlook that. I think his policy is so important to me and what he's going to do for the country.
I'm done with the drama. We know that the nation is looking at us now, and we're going to turn out.
And in a pitch to the state's independent sensibilities, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley is urging voters to turn the page.
You've described this as a two-person race between yourself and Donald Trump. Does that mean you need to take the case more aggressively to Donald Trump?
Yes, it's about the differences between Trump and with me. And I'll tell you, look, we don't want 2 80-year-olds to be our options.
But another controversy is following Haley, as she was asked yesterday whether she thinks the GOP is a racist party.
No, We're not a racist country, Brian. We've never been a racist country.
And after eking out a second-place finish in Iowa, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis wants to slow Haley's momentum in New Hampshire.
So she does not have the ability to build the type of coalition that you need to win a Republican primary, period, much less take on Donald Trump.
And there are going to be plenty of candidate events here over the next 6 days, but no debates before New Hampshire voters weigh in next week. There was one originally scheduled for tomorrow, but Nikki Haley dropped out, saying that she would only show up if Trump did. Caitlin Huey-Burns, CBS News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
We are working several stories for you on CBS Miami. Here's a look at what you'll see all new on CBS News Miami at 5 o'clock. A troubling new report from the American Cancer Society that finds colon and breast cancer are on the rise, specifically in young people. The preventative steps you can take, we'll have those details starting at 5. The power of CBS News Miami and the CBS News Miami stream are always at your fingertips. We are on Pluto TV and it's all free, or you can find us on your favorite streaming device with the CBS News app, then click CBS News Miami. And that's CBS News Miami's Quickcast. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS Miami.